Good morning, everybody. We are back. It is the right side of campus. We are live on a Monday, February 19th, 2018. I'm your host, the Big Man on Campus. Get your week started with us here at SBR Picks on the SBR YouTube page and SBRforum.com. Joined by my co-host, Donnie Rightside. Donnie Rightside, how you doing today?
Hey, doing good, man. Hung out yesterday, which we'll talk about the Temple game a little bit. But, new week, new money, as we like to say. Finished the last week getting a little envelope, Jeff, which is always better than giving a little envelope each and every week. So, feeling good. It's Monday, holiday here in the States. Let's have some fun. See what we can do today, Jeff.
Yeah, it is a holiday here. I know some people are off. Some people got the kids home from school, whatever. We'll try to get you through it for at least an hour here on the right side of campus. If you're out there, hit the like button, hit the retweet button if you're on Twitter. It's a great way to spread the show out there to people that might not see it. Make sure you're frequenting all the great things that SBR has to offer. Obviously, Sportsbook review, reviewing sports books. There's so many people, Donnie, that hit me up. they contact me. Hey, what book should we use? Hey, da, 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 da. Check out Sportsbook Review. They check them all out. They rate them all. They give you the best bonus information. What ones are blacklisted? Make sure you're checking that out. Make sure you're checking out all the great things that SBR has to offer. So, again, a little homework for you. Hit the like button. Make sure you support the show. Donnie, let's get into the show here. Obviously, another week. We're happy you're here spending it with us. We started out with some headlines here, just kind of reliving the weekend. Danny Garcia, Donnie, knocks out Brandon Rios in the ninth round. Vicious right hand. And it was one of those things in boxing you look for. When you watch a fight, you want to see that one shot knockout. Brandon Rios fought pretty well for the most part. He was scrappy. The problem that he had was he was scrappy, just wasn't doing enough to win rounds. Danny obviously on name itself is gonna, you know, win a lot of those rounds just by putting in a little work. He was doing that. He had a pretty quick start, I thought. Usually Danny starts pretty slow, but the ninth round hits him with that the right, goes down. Rios tries to get up and make it look okay, but wave it off. A nice win for Danny Garcia. A lot of people wonder where he was after the Keith Thurman loss. He took about a year off. Now he's back. Look, I'm not sure that puts him right into the. He's still in the conversation of fight Earl Spence or Sean Porter. The big news, Donnie, after the fight was the argument that Porter and Garcia got in, and Jim Gray wasn't too happy. I know I showed that to you. You thought it was pretty funny. Jim Gray, I think sick of the antics. If I'm a reporter there, I let that play out. I mean, obviously, you don't let it play out forever, but Jim Gray diffused the situation quite quickly, telling Porter to get the hell out of here, if you will. But a nice win for Danny Garcia and Donnie. Jim Gray, what would you have done in that situation? You got to let that play out a little bit longer. I mean, that's what boxing is. It's the allure of the talking and the blabbing out and stuff.
Yeah, no, it was reminiscent, Jeff, of Rocky movies when Clubber Lang would challenge Rocky right after a victory, or even going later in that, Jeff, Union Kane challenging Rocky after he's trying to retire as well. It's just one of those things where I guess now, if somebody's ducking you, you just say, you know what, I'm going to buy a ticket to the fight. I'm going to sit ringside, and if he wins, I'm going to jump in the ring and scream and yell at the camera because I want my rematch. Not usually the best way to go about business in real life as opposed to movie life. But hey, that's for good fodder. That's for good talk. And I'm sure Danny Garcia is now kind of angry that somebody's trying to take his shine right off the top. So we'll see what happens in the future, but makes for good TV.
Yeah, for sure. Eric Hosmer, Donnie, goes to the Kansas City Royals. Big deal over the weekend in baseball. Look, first of all, I feel bad for Eric Hosmer. San Diego's not the place that I'd want to go. It's a nice place weather-wise. Look, he'll definitely live a nice life there with tons of money. But as far as winning games, I don't know that's going to happen. I don't hate their lineup. They have decent players. They brought in Freddie Galvis from the Phillies, who's a good shortstop. You still have Will Myers. You obviously bring Hosmer now. The problem that San Diego has is they may have the worst rotation in baseball, and they're in the toughest division in baseball. Couple that with a third-year manager that we don't really know if he has it. Um, Kind of a bottomless pit if you're Eric Hosmer, and you wonder. I mean, he's a great player? Is he a franchise changing player? Is he a guy like a Max Scherzer or like a high end Robinson Cano or someone like that? I don't know. I mean, 144 million over 8 years. I know a lot of it's front loaded, but I mean that's a lot of money to give to Eric Hosmer. No.
Yeah, no, it's the one. There's a couple things I like to pick apart in this. The one thing I do like about Major League Baseball's union, Jeff, it's by far the strongest union in all of sports. But they take care of each other. It feeds right off your point, Jeff. Eric Hosmer used to playing, competitive baseball in Kansas City. They turn it around, get to a World Series, win a World Series, and now he's in San Diego. And you might say, like, well, why is he going to San Diego? Like, he's made money. He can make money elsewhere and still challenge for rings and have playoff, experience heading down the stretch. But the one good thing about Major League Baseball, and we even seen it in like Philadelphia, Jeff. Do you remember back in the day before Citizens Bank Park was built, they were still in Veterans Stadium, but they needed that key piece, key cog to sort of reinvigorate the Philadelphia Philly fans after a dreadful, post-1993 run. So they go out and they offer Jim Thome more money than anybody else in baseball, despite Jim Thome wanting to stay in Cleveland and wanting to stay in Cleveland for less money. When you're in the union in baseball, it's your job to go out and set the market. Even if you don't want to go to that place, if San Diego is going to offer you the most money on the market, you owe it to your brothers out there to go to San Diego and keep pushing that peg forward for increased salaries. It's the one sport that does it. There's some smaller instances like Cliff Lee didn't go to New York City and the Yankees and he stayed with the Philadelphia Phillies and took a little bit less. But sometimes in those instances, Jeff, where Jim Thome is going to make, $50 million in Cleveland or $85 million in Philadelphia, it's good on baseball and it's good that they take care of each other like that and go to that situation because the next man up, he's going to make more money because you did it, but the guy before you allowed you to make more money. I do like that. But also, Jeff, the second counterpoint to this, in 8 years, Jeff, look, like, where am I going to be in 8 years? Where are you going to be in 8 years, both mentally, physically, financially, and all that? I don't understand in Major League Baseball why you're going to give a guy 8 years. Now, technically, I think, Jeff, it's 5 years with 3 options, but the 3 options are the players at this end. He's going to be, 38, 39 years when it gets done? It's going to be a terrible deal, the same way the Albert Pujols deals end up terribly. Nobody has learned their lesson in baseball. An 8-year deal? Give me a break, Jeff.
No, I know. And here's a good thing for Eric Hosmer. One, he's making a ton of money. Two, he's going to live in a really beautiful city, one of the nicest in America. And C, he's going to meet some fly-ass broad and he's going to get married. He's going to have a real nice life. Is he going to win anything? No. Again, I like Hosmer. I would have liked to have, maybe seen the Yankees take a look, but obviously they have they're a little top level heavy there. But as far as that, we'll see how it goes. It's not going to be a good. I don't think it's going to be a good deal for them, and I think they know that. Donnie, the one thing about Twitter I always find funny is everyone has an opinion, no matter how asinine, no matter how good, no matter how bad. I mean, but you're always going to have an opinion. So last night I tweet out about we're watching the All-Star game, and I don't know if you watched the whole game, but at the end of the game there was a questionable call late where it clearly goes off one of the teams, and it doesn't touch the other team at all. Yet they reviewed it, still got it wrong, and it was clear as day.
What game was this, Jeff? What game was this?
It was the All-Star game. The All-Star game. And it was clear as day. Everyone was mentioning how poor of a call it was. Didn't even close to touch Kevin Durant. And some guy went on and complained to me that it definitely touched Kevin Durant. I don't know what you're looking at. And I'm really kind of just saying everyone on Twitter has an opinion. We also have a guy on this chat box that he's going to make his opinion today, saying that I'm not sure how you can make this comment. I don't like the Rangers rotation, but how on earth did you take the Padres rotation over the Rangers? I don't know if you know, but they have a guy named Cole Hamels who is better than any pitcher San Diego has. I mean, Donnie, I know we haven't looked a ton at baseball, but if you look at the Padres rotation, it's dreadful. I mean, sometimes we gotta wonder about some opinions here. I'd like to hear, Michael, how their rotation's better than Texas, because I don't know that I see it, but I guess we'll see. Maybe you can let us know and shed some light on that. Hosmer, don't end up like Loiza. I don't think he will. Michael Robinson, you okay this morning? Are you you all here today?
Jeff, if you go pitch in San Diego, maybe he's going to Tijuana nightly since he's in San Diego, Jeff. Maybe.
I'm gonna go ahead and get the feeling that Eric Hosmer probably doesn't really need to go to Tijuana. But maybe I'm just maybe I'm just kooky. I don't know. But NBA All-Star Weekend. Our thoughts. I don't know. It was normal. I mean, it was just like every other one. The 3-point contest is decent. I mean, this year it really was bad in the first round, but the dunk contest was awful. And it wasn't awful because of the dunks. Look, the dunks are the dunks. It's hard to come up with ideas anymore. We've seen so many of them, but I think it's too short personally. Like, I think it should be another round between the semifinals and the finals. One dunk, I mean, it's just kind of not enough. And Donovan Mitchell shouldn't have won. I know I had Larry Nance, but I'm just being honest. Mitchell shouldn't have won. The dunks he did were you jumping over Kevin Hart's and Kevin Hart squished down. How's that impressive? Like, what's interesting about that? Everybody jumps over Kevin Hart. And by the way, I'm good seeing Kevin Hart. We can stop with that whole thing. I mean, how many times are we gonna put him on the air during All-Star weekend? Like, he was funny like the first one or two times he did it, and then it became like, okay, this is stupid. But All-Star weekend, the game was good. I mean, the new format was a lot better. Obviously, it made it a little bit more interesting. There's a little bit more defense played. Over had no shot, no matter where you got it. Whether it was 358 when it opened or 332 when it closed, you didn't have a chance. Uh, Look, I mean, I'm not gonna smash the All-Star weekend. Um, Dunk contest was bad as always, judge wise. I'm not really sure what DJ Khaled knows about dunks. I don't know what some of these people know. What does Chris Rock know about dunks? Why don't we get like real people that like have dunked and know how to dunk? Like, I get Lisa Leslie, she knows how to dunk, and Dr. J. They're great people to have to be judges. What on earth does DJ Khaled know? He doesn't know how to dunk. He never has dunked and never will dunk. I feel like you should have to be a judge on the,
Yeah.
the All Star weekend. You should have to have dunked in some kind of game that we've seen. You know how it is to dunk. I don't know how to dunk, and I never have dunked and never will dunk, so I can't offer information on how to dunk. Why are we consistently throwing these actors and why are we throwing that into our face here? This is a competition. It's taken seriously clearly by the athletes. Why are we having these people judge? I love DJ Khaled. I think he's a great guy, great producer. But I don't think you should judge the All-Star dunk contest, Donnie.
No, no. There should. I mean, if you don't know how difficult the actual dunk is, like DJ Khaled would be in there, how are you going to know how to score that dunk? Because don't you think Dr. J sees somebody take off for the foul line and is like, yo, you know what? That's really hard to do. You know why? Because I've done it before. Or how about a 360 windmill dunk? If Vince Carter's up there and he goes, you know what? I know how hard that is to do. But DJ Khaled just throwing a dunk down. Maybe he doesn't understand, like, oh my God, like he took off from, outside the lane as opposed to inside the lane. You're right about that. But again, the NBA, just getting back to the whole, like, and I don't want to be old man yelling at cloud here, right, Jeff? And when I say back in my day, like, the 80s were just about the competition. But whatever happened, like, because I watched last night because I like the spectacle. And there's nothing else to watch at Sunday night. I'm not watching, something with the wife or Bravo or any of that like TV. So I tune into the All-Star game. I'm still a little bit tired from the day, going out to the game, coming back, but I'm watching it. And it's like 40 minutes of introductions. Whatever happened, Jeff, you're just opening up, right? You announce the starting lineups normally. You have your MC, everybody's getting loud. And how about just, a rapper, an R&B star comes out with, one or two banger songs to start off, and then you tip off and you have fun. I understand that it was Los Angeles, right? But the opening made absolutely no sense in the world whatsoever and had nothing to do with basketball. I understand you want fluff, pomp and circumstance and all that stuff, but then you tip the game at like 8:48. You have an extended halftime, Jeff, and I only made it to halftime. I didn't even get to see the end of the game. But I actually thought the game itself, Jeff, was very good that I was watching. It wasn't the last 3 to 4 years where they made a mockery of the sport and just threw alley-oops and shot three-pointers from half court. They actually played somewhat a good basketball game. I did like the concept of it, but the game itself was good. But I didn't need the extended 90-minute halftime, and I didn't need a 90-minute start to the game either. Can't we just aren't the superstars the show, Jeff? Let them go out and showcase. That's what we're here to watch, not Kevin Hart do some play right before the game.
Yeah, listen, I don't like Kevin Hart. I don't think he's funny. I never thought he was funny. But look, Donnie, you got to remember, and this is where we have our disagreements here on the show. This is something that you always, you don't like these big events. Listen, they have to sell that stuff. I know you don't like it. I don't like it. We just want to see them play, and at the end of the day, who cares? But unfortunately, they don't. They have to sell that stuff. I guess they think that people want to see entertainment, and it is a good way to kind of make it a weekend. I get it. I hear you. I'd rather see
No, I don't mind the
uh,
whole weekend though. I don't mind the dunk competition. I don't mind the 3-point, the skills, whatever they do. But again, and I'm saying this from Jeff. If they opened the show like 8 o'clock, boom, they went live, and they had like 3 or 4, current singers out there just knocking it down and introducing, and they got off and they tipped off at 8:20. I'm like, you know what? That's what they do. That's the show. But I just think like when you try too hard, like the stars that like you want to see Steph, you want to see LeBron, you want to see Joel Embiid out there. I don't need Kevin Hart. And again, if the crowd or whoever out there, Jeff, is dead silent when you're doing your routine, you're probably not hitting the right chord at that point. And when everybody's tuning in saying, what's going on with this? You usually miss the mark right off the bat.
Here's what they should have did. Okay, I should be the strategic guy for the All-Star game because I'm pretty up on like culture as far as urban
Yeah.
culture. I'm pretty good with that stuff. So here's what they should have did. Okay, they should have opened the All-Star game like they normally do. Welcome to Staples Center. Marv Albert. They interview those guys and they talk about the game. Then they go before the game starts. The introductions. We're gonna go to Drake. He's gonna perform God's plan because it's blowing up right now. He's doing some great things in America. Let's have him do that. Let's go to Drake. Drake does his thing, blah, 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 blah. Maybe we see a broad or two. They walk in and welcome to the All-Star. And the All-Star game comes up. They do the introductions. We get the game going. It's not difficult. It's not hard. We don't got to make it 3 hours. I agree with you on that. Also, let's cut the skills competition. I mean, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. So we're basically letting guys dribble around cones, which who cares? Like, and they throw a ball through a little hoop, and then they got to shoot a three. Like, it's cool in like hockey when they shoot the puck like 200 miles an hour. Like, the home run derby is cool and all, but do we really need a skills competition? Like, honestly, I think that celebrity game is better than the skills thing. Like, I'd rather watch that.
Yeah.
But
Sure. No, who would? Like, yeah, like, why not? Like, I think they force it. Like, instead of having that Friday night, why don't you just compact it on a Saturday night? You have the, celebrity game, then you have the
yeah,
rookie and second year game, then you have the 3-point shooting contest and the dunk contest, and you throw maybe a little concert in the middle with somebody. That would be a perfect Saturday night. It just seems like they look for it, saying, you know what, we have to fill up programming. Yeah, right. Let's have the guys dribble and go up court and do all that nonsense stuff. And by the way, Jeff, did they include the WNBA in the skills competition this year or no?
I don't believe so. No, they don't
Don't you
usually.
remember? Like, remember for a couple years they were using the
No, they were.
WNBA, like you had to team up. Oh my gosh!
I'll tell you one thing they took away that I kind of missed the whole thing. Remember when they would do that like 3-person thing where you would like it was like that was
Shoot
I
from
thought
half
that still
court
was
and
coming.
stuff.
Yeah, I thought that was decent. I didn't mind that because it was like you're kind of getting away from stuff that you wouldn't normally do. What was with the national anthem? I don't know. I mean, it wasn't that good. I mean, let's not rag on Fergie. I mean, she's done her
I
thing
mean,
in
I
the
don't.
UK.
You know what? I think like was it a great national anthem? No, but I love the. It was a disrespectful one. I didn't get the. I mean, I personally love it? No, but it was the worst thing I ever heard. No, but I
I gotta
guess
tell
because
you,
it's
I
the
don't.
NBA All Star. I don't know.
I don't like half of the ones they do. Why don't we just have like the same standard people do it? It's like being a translator in this country almost, where like they call you, you come do the national anthem, and let's move on. I mean, why do we have to have a big
Put your
spectacle?
spin on
Like,
it. Yeah, everybody's got to put their
yeah, let's
spin on
just
the national
do it
anthem.
normal, and that's it. I like Fergie. I think she's nice to look at. She's very successful. It is what it is. BMOC, I had Kurt Busch at 25-1. Yeah, well, what are you gonna do? I had a lot of people hitting me up. Kurt Busch almost won. He didn't, unfortunately. Yeah,
By the way,
NASCAR.
Jeff, yeah, yeah,
No, no, was fine.
NASCAR. We'll bring that up there. Did I see a brother come in number 2, Jeff?
Yeah, Bubba Wallace. Yep.
How about that?
They
I
had
didn't
a.
know. I didn't know. I had no idea. I saw it up there. I figured the name was just one of those country white boys out there, and I see the guy getting interviewed there, and I'm like, yo, look at
You
this,
got to
man.
watch. ESPN did a story on him about like his career and stuff. You got to watch that, man. On ESPN, they did a piece on him. He's an interesting character, man. Look, good guy. Yeah, he did great. Great race. Austin Dillon wins. We'll get into that a little later.
Yeah.
Let's get into college basketball here, Donnie. A wild weekend on the hardwood. It's amazing, Donnie, how weird of a year it is in college hoops. I mean, you not only start with the big boys, which we're going to get into. Kansas win. They play tonight again. Listen, I was upset. I think Huggins was upset. Clearly was upset. If I was Huggins, I would have got kicked out as well. A 35-2 free throw discrepancy is a pathetic disgrace. That should never happen in any circumstance. I agree with him. I've never seen that. I don't. I mean, I've watched a lot of college hoops. I can't remember ever seeing a 35-2 free throw discrepancy. Have you seen that, Donnie? I mean, that's pretty
No, no, and
unbelievable.
you know what's interesting about that too is we see it all the time in football. You see it in rec league basketball. You see it in high school, college, and pros typically because the refs usually understand the score. It doesn't matter. I don't even want to buy it. Well, West Virginia doesn't take it to the rack. There's ebb and flow in basketball where usually when they see that, Jeff, what happens on the opposite end? Now you're going to get like 3 or 4 insignificant checking calls on, let's just say, Kansas to try to even that out. They weren't even trying to hide that at all. And that's a discrepancy that you are going to get questioned on. The refs usually want to typically, instead of, TV Teddy Valentine, you want to take a step back out of the spotlight and try to even it up. They didn't even make any bones about it, Jeff.
No, no, it was. We're going to call this one-sided all game, and that's just going to how it's going to be. Now, look, people say, well, big man on campus, they did blow, a lead. Kansas was, finished the game on a 17-0 run. Yeah, but a lot of the calls helped that. Kansas now number 1 seed. I think they're the right side. I have them as number 1 seed. I thought after Saturday's games, they have the best resume. They have 10 quadrant 1 wins. They should be the 1 seed. And now you look at these 1 seeds, Dottie. For me, Virginia, Villanova, Kansas, and Xavier. I'm pretty happy with those. I think Xavier, that Midwest bracket, Xavier obviously loses, but they lose to Villanova. Those are their tough losses this year. Purdue, I think they're very close to being a 1 seed, but I'm pretty much happy. You got to do what you got to do. Those are the 1 seeds, and I agree with them. We move on to another Big 12 team, Oklahoma. I mean, this is now, Donnie, 8 of 10 Oklahoma's lost. Not against the number, straight up. They've lost 8 of 10 games. This is a team that 3 weeks ago, I thought you thought you would say, wow, they're the best player in the country. They have plenty of guys that can step up, and they'll step up. They still haven't stepped up, Donnie. They're still not stepping up. They're still not getting the job done. Trey Young is being guarded differently now. He's going to come out and talk about that, which people get on the kid for talking about it. I talk about it too. They're guarding him differently. He's got to say something. Oklahoma's not playing well. Defensively, they're an absolute mess. They can't get stops. They gave up 77 over the weekend at Texas. That's not something you should be doing. Texas is a good offense, they're not a great one. And I'll keep betting against Oklahoma. I don't see it with this team. And we've been making money betting against them. Oklahoma, Donnie, really in some trouble.
Yeah, you're right about that. And, how many times can we say it, Jeff? The Big 12 is a grinder, but that doesn't mean you can just, lose every game that you have in the Big 12 and say, well, it's a tough conference. You got to hold your own. And now what's up next, Jeff? You don't take care of business on your home court when you were laying 6 or 7. Now you're going to step out on short rest. And, hey, what better place to go get a road win? One of the easier places to win at, Jeff, at the Fog. I don't think so. Coming into this game looking now, Jeff, getting 8.5 to 9 wherever you're surrounding. Good luck going into the Fog and win this one. And you can't just use it again and say, well, they're having a little bit of struggle right now. No. This struggle is you're struggling at the wrong time. Maybe they figured out how to defend Oklahoma, but come on, you have to at least trade punches going against these big teams out there. So, not looking good for Oklahoma.
Big man or Donnie, off topic, you bet horse racing? No, I don't.
Now here, I actually read that wrong, Jeff. I will bet the big races just because it's fun, and I don't bet for a lot of money. But I thought he meant handicapping. Where I don't handicap at all. I do not.
Yeah, I definitely bet like Derby, but it's just for fun. I don't get into it. I can't say I know one horse. The only horse I know is
Smarty Jones.
Yeah, Barbaro. The one thing I do remember, Donnie, do you remember back in the day when believe it was Jan Gorham on WIP. You know how they do like that update thing? You know, it's like a 20
Shut
to
the
40
bleep
update or
up.
whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
no, no, that was another one. But she goes, "We won't see any more from Barbaro. He's dead." And like she just goes into this like thing about how like she just so like just goes
Yeah,
into
her
oh
her
he's
voice,
dead.
and no, if anybody's not around there, it gets it's in the update person like you would have in like on the fan, the person that comes in to give you the scores. But she was a little bit offbeat, and it was kind of funny for years that she used to do that though.
She was like an older woman. It was like kind of
Yeah,
weird
yep,
like how she did
yep.
updates to begin with, but she's just like there won't be any more from Barbaro this year at the Derby. He's dead, and like it's just weird. That's all I
Yeah.
know about horse racing. As far as Trey Young's comments, I'm getting guarded like anybody else in the country. Scattered like no one else in the country. It's a mystery coming out each and every day to try to figure out how the defense is going to guard me. But I'm gonna and how I'm going to dictate how my team wins. Um, I don't have any problem with those comments. I see a kid that gives his heart every night. Great player. He's frustrated. I think if you read between the T lines there, Donnie, it's
Yeah.
I need someone else to step up and help me out here. I don't think Trey's going to go out and call anyone out. He's not that kind of kid. But um, yeah, I mean, they need someone else. I mean, he's been exposed because everyone else in his team can't do anything. That's not being exposed. He's doing everything he can. It's not his fault they double team. It's like any great pass rusher. You double team him. Only you can only be so good. You're not going to overpower two people. Um,
Yeah.
Trey Young's Trey Young, great player. I think we'll be fine. But Steph Curry gets double teamed. Remember in the championship or the NBA Finals 2 years ago, he was double teamed, couldn't do anything. I don't think he's a bad player because of it. He
Yeah.
get double teamed, and the fact that Trey Young actually comes out and says these things, I think is bigger than anything. If he could just sit back and say, "Well, I'll do what I got to," blah 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 blah. Look, I've not liked certain things that Trey's done as far as changing the kind of game he plays to ascertain the media, but I think he's frustrated. I think he's frustrated with the overall state of the program and how there's no one else really helping him out. We move on, Donnie, to the next one here. Nova, road tough, baby. Xavier can't beat them. It's 2 times now that Villanova has beaten Xavier badly. Xavier can't guard Villanova. It doesn't matter who's playing. Phil Booth, Eric Pascal, whoever's in there. Bridges has had big games in both of them. Hopefully, Xavier doesn't have to see Villanova again, other than the conference tournament, because they can't seem to beat them. And there's been these interesting rivalries in the Big East where one team just has the other team's number.
No, I mean, and does it all get back to one player, Jeff? I mean, if you could trade a single player in the country and move him around like a top 20 team and just have him play nightly on a different team, wouldn't Jalen Brunson dominate any scene he's in at this point? He's just an amazing player, and I just file it up as I watch him there. Always getting Villanova in the right spots. Is there anybody in the country, Jeff, you want running the fast break, even if it's not a 2-on-1, if it's a 2-on-2 or a 3-on-3? He seems to get to the rack and do whatever he wants and make the smart pass time and time again. Come March Madness, Jalen Brunson is going to dominate on a national scene. I just love the way he plays. We talked about it yesterday, Jeff, at the Temple game. We're sitting there, and Leah Course holds what, Jeff? Let's just say 10,000, something like that. And they always get a half building, no matter what game it seems like they come into town. The Cintas Center is one of the toughest places to go on the road and win at because the crowd is amazing there. And yet Villanova coming in after playing some tough games and not exactly on the upswing goes in there and absolutely dominates. Great win for Villanova, and that bodes well for March Madness, Jeff.
Yeah, you're totally right. As far as this weekend, an interesting weekend as far as every team, even the mid majors, the low level mid majors, even they're getting beaten. You look at all the teams, Donnie, that were undefeated in conference play. New Mexico State went down. The Utah Valley, they're out of that, zero losses in conference. Vermont, 33 straight at home, or at no in general, they lost yesterday to Hartford. Florida Gulf Coast has lost 2 straight. All the big boys, Donnie. Montana lost over the weekend. Rhode Island lost over the weekend. Um, there's chinks in everyone's armor at every level, But you know what? You get the losses out of the way now. Losing one conference game, nothing wrong with that, Donnie. No one's going to be mad that you lost the game. Vermont's still a real good team. They just got slipped up on. But you're starting to see in every level of college basketball, a team is going down. It's going to be an interesting tournament. I said to you yesterday, it would be interesting if the federal government decided, let's throw that indictment out there now, baby. Let's see what happens now. And you do it right before the tournament. That would be tough. But Donnie, as I thought about that indictment last night, and it's going to happen at some point. It's not going to happen probably before the tournament, but it will happen. You know who I thought of as soon as I heard about that indictment and what it's going to do to college basketball? You know what? Who know who I thought of?
Who?
Mr. Never Lost. BBB, Big Ball Brand. How many people are going to run to the JBA when the shit hits the fan in college basketball and old LeVar is just sitting back waiting for it to happen?
But how about if the lead man of the indictment is LeVar Ball for brokering his kid to go to UCLA? Wouldn't that be awesome?
True. I often wonder about that. Obviously LeVar, before we knew about the balls, he's just a regular guy. He made money, but we don't know really how. Yeah, Gabe and I talked about that before. You wonder about the validity there, but it'll be interesting to see how happens with all this. The
Hey
guy's
Jeff,
name
by
is
the way,
Dante
go
DiVincenzo,
ahead.
by the way, for anyone.
The
Dante
big ragu.
DiVincenzo.
Jeff, college basketball. Somebody wrote in the chat box a while back here, and they wanted to get your thoughts, Jeff, and my thoughts on buying points in college basketball. And I'd like to preface this by saying everybody's going to bet a game here or there, Jeff, where it's, let's just say it's sitting at 2, but it's minus 120 because that's what your bookie has and that's what BetOnline offers. That's a different story. But if we're looking at betting and buying points in college basketball, what exactly are we trying to avoid here? Like if you get the game at 4 and you buy it to 5, and I'm struggling to even get the words out for like the commentary on that, because when you use it in football, Jeff, like if you say, you know what, I don't want to bet 3.5 in the NFL, that would make sense. Or I don't want to bet 7.5 in the NFL, that would make sense. But the compounding theory behind points in college basketball is one of those asinine things I've ever seen. And there's a reason why they allow it on books, because it makes no sense. Jeff, buying from 2 to 3, give me your thoughts on it in college basketball.
Yeah, I don't really get it. I don't understand these people that say they're key numbers in basketball. No, no, they're not. There aren't key numbers in basketball. Um, they're. I often wondered that. Like, I see guys that like do teasers, and they'll tease a team from 4 to 8, and it's like, so. I mean, I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't know why you would do it. It's a waste of money. Like Donnie said, there's a reason they allow it. And listen, if you have like multiple books, you should never really need to buy half points, because normally if you just line shop, you can get the half a point somewhere. Yeah, I don't get it. I know we know people that do it, and people that we've hung out with before, and we might have to have a talk with them. But his comment, I'm sure, would be his same simple typical comment, Donnie. It's just how he bets. I've given up a long time ago trying to tell people how to bet. We all know everyone on here thinks they're, you know, God's gift to handicapping. We can try to share our opinion, because we are OGs. I mean, you can
Yeah.
think we're not, but we are. Most of these guys are just playing in this business. If they don't want to listen, let them do what they want. But it's not how most people do it. But good luck. And no, they're not tight, actually. Most of the lines are way off. Ace. Uh, so, by the way, from what I read, you don't bet college basketball. So what do you care? I mean, to you, it's not easy. I've done pretty well with it, though. So, I mean, I guess it is beatable, isn't it? I don't think they're that tight. When I go to the Sun Belt, when I go to the Summit League, they don't look too tight to me. But hey, maybe I just have a different opinion. Donnie, yeah, buying from 4 to 5. I mean, five's a dead number anyway. I mean, I don't know. I don't get it. Why did you bring that up, Donnie? That's interesting. We lose Donnie? I think we lost Donnie. Is Donnie there? Donnie. Donnie, hello. Hello, are you there? We've lost Donnie. I heard his dog barking in the background, so I'm sure that has something to do with it. That's no problem. We'll get him back here and get him up. I feel like something happened with his dog, because I heard his dog barking like crazy, and then I just heard him not here anymore. So, yeah, we'll keep it moving. But yeah, as far as the bubble, I think a lot of teams helped themselves this weekend. Namely, St. Bonaventure, they're in now. Baylor gets a big win against Texas Tech. They're in now. Texas gets a big win against Oklahoma. They're in. Syracuse, they get a big win against Miami. Every team that needed to win did win. And that's why it's important around the bubble to make sure you're aware of these situations. I was keyed in on Texas this week. I mentioned Baylor. You got to look at these certain spots. Donnie, you back?
I am back, Jeff. Yeah, no, we like to preface it because it's real life where we actually do stuff here. And, it's President's Day. So the kid doesn't have school. So, the wife's upstairs, they're milling around. And everybody knows I have a puppy there. So they decide to go out. But when you leave my dog alone, Jeff, she screams for an hour and upon hours upon hours. So I had to go and handle that, Jeff, put her upstairs in the cage, and hopefully we don't hear her anymore. But real life situations, Jeff, live on camera right now, huh?
Yeah, Donnie, I got to tell you a quick story. One time we were doing the Premier League Punters, that show, me doing Natalie and I, and it
Yeah.
was me, Natalie, Alex from Romania, and
Mhm.
Flash, the guy that played the Premier League. So we're
Yeah.
doing the show, and I think I was speaking. I was like talking about something. And you know how they have the four quadrants when we have four people on?
Yes.
So we could see everybody. And we hear Flash. Like he just jumps up in the air and runs. And I see him in the corner of the camera grabbing his dog like that. Like, and he like
Hmm.
pulls him up or something. And he gets back on and I go, what the hell happened? He goes, the dog, he got something that he shouldn't have had in his mouth. And it's all happened on camera and it was great. He just like he grabbed the dog. Maybe someone remembers seeing it on the show, but it's
Yeah.
hard to explain, but it's just the way he did it. I'd imagine you did the same thing. I heard the dog and I thought there had to have been something. The dog got into something he shouldn't have. That was
No, yeah, no.
that was
If you leave my dog alone, it's like a little kid, like having a kid. They scream and there's no stopping it. They don't just go to sleep. They don't bark for like 3 or 5 minutes and then just say, I'll deal with it. They will bark for 24 hours until somebody goes to get them. So at least I could put them farther away. So now we don't have to hear the rest of the show.
yeah. Tony, last but not least, with some of the college basketball,
Yeah.
Temple
Yep.
University yesterday. Look, many of you know I'm a big fan of Temple. We go to the games, Donnie and I. I've bet money on this team year after year, and I'm getting to I'm at the end with them. I won't support them again until they get rid of Fran Dunphy. I've watched this team slowly but surely since I was a kid continue to fall. I mean, when John Chaney left, obviously we'd see a drop off, but I didn't expect to see it like this. I'm sick of mediocrity with this team. This is a team, Donnie, that is top five all time in wins. Okay, they've won a ton of games at this program. I remember back in the early 2000s, the 90s, they were going to the Final Four, Elite Eight. They're playing big time teams. Um, it's sad where this team is now. There's little to no interest in the city. I remember when I was younger, my father told me that it used to be Phillies, Sixers, Eagles, Flyers, and Temple. Um, it's not like that anymore. We have a team out in the main line that gets more respect and way more shine than the team in the city. I'm sick of this guy. I'm sick of his inability to coach. I'm sick of his bad recruiting. I'm sick of his no game plan offense is just dissipated. Yesterday's performance was sickening. It was pathetic. And in a game you had to have, this guy's won two NCAA tournament games in 12 years. I'm sick of the fact that he's just a nice guy is the reason they keep him around. He's safe. He doesn't cost anything. Open your fucking wallets and go out and get a real coach that knows how to recruit, knows how to handle business. I'm sick of this stuff. Tom Crean's sitting out there. Go get Tom Crean. I'm sure he'd be happy to come back to coaching. And he's in a pretty good program still. You're still going to get some money. It's these fucking idiot directors that won't see, the writing on the wall. I think the writing was clear as fucking crystal yesterday, and I'm sick of it. Donnie, I've never seen in a game where a fan during a timeout when it was Donnie, it was pretty
And it
quiet
wasn't
when that guy
you.
did
And it
that.
wasn't you.
And it was not me. There was a guy above us, up in the top level. Now, if you're sitting up at top level at Temple, that that's where you're a legit dude. You probably went there. You still care. You like me and Donnie, and the guy stood up during a timeout, and you could hear him. And I know Fran heard him. What do you say, Donnie? You've ruined this program. He screamed it during a timeout, and It was quiet. I don't think anyone else disagreed.
Yeah, it's
Donnie,
not.
I
And
didn't.
it's the way it came off yesterday. Like the whole thing is like, look, we understand there's going to be a little bit of a letdown, right, for Wichita State game. You probably should have had that one, but you're coming on your home court. Similar scenario for Houston, Jeff, who had probably their signature win of the season. Going, you know what, we're in. We cemented it, and now you have Temple still sitting on that bubble just outside. And it wasn't so much, Jeff, that they lost, right? Because let's just say this game ends up 80-78. Tough, hard fought loss. You'd say, you know what, they gave their effort. But we sat there and watched it. Every rebound, every loose ball, everything that was a 50-50 play went Houston's way, Jeff, because they wanted it more. And that's rare for Temple kids, man.
This
Usually Temple is the scrappier team saying, you know what? We might not be as talented, but we're going to be well coached and we're going to get those loose balls. Completely opposite yesterday.
These stunts have happened year after year, and I'm sick of it. Losing to George Washington 2 years in a row, losing last year to New Hampshire, losing this year to Tulane at home. It's the same old, same old. And Reggie, all due respect, this has nothing to do with yesterday. This is a problem that has had me annoyed for weeks. I've wanted Duffy gone since Donnie. Remember last year? I told you Duffy should be fired. It should have happened 2 years ago. It's like, it's just going on for too long, and no one will do anything about it. We got to get Temple back to where it used to be, and this is sickening watching this stuff. And yesterday
Now,
was
Jeff,
the
should
icing on
they
the cake.
revert back? Like they're in the American now, obviously, as opposed to the A10. If you
They
remember, I
should
mean,
have never
even when I was growing
left.
up as a kid, yeah, when I was growing up as a kid, I mean, you look at John Chaney teams. They're still in North Broad. Temple campus right now is an absolute mansion, a beautiful palace compared to what it was, Jeff, in the late 80s and early 90s. The blight of the area. They turned it around a lot. You can go to North Broad. Look at how you can walk up and down North Broad now on the Temple campus and go to, 25 eateries down there, and the place is
Yeah.
hopping and it's electric now. And back in the day, Jeff, we played at McGonigal Hall, which is a glorified high school gym, and we were making Elite Eights year after year after year. I don't know what happened, and I guess you try to move up and you take that money grab. But what was wrong with staying in the A10 with St. Joe's, and you can get through that conference and play well? That seemed like a better MO because right now it's not working for him, Jeff.
Because for some reason the football team had one good year, so now everything that has to do with football we're gonna do, and no matter if it hurts the basketball program or not, we're gonna do it. It's just backwards. The whole fucking board's bad. The athletic department sucks. I got to ask Omar, what the hell is SWOT analysis? I got to know what that is. What is SWOT analysis, Donnie? Are you wondering
I'm
about
gonna
that?
say
Zion, what is SWOT analysis?
sweet work opposite against. I don't know.
Temple. Yeah, I don't know what that is. What is SWOT? I'd like to hear what SWOT is. Please tell me what it is. Don't tell me it's yours.
Yes,
Just
spell it
so,
out. Yes, spell the acronym
uh,
out for us. Yes.
yes. But yeah, it's getting bad. We'll move on. But Donnie, by the way, I saw you wrote in the notes. I heckled a fan. Who did I do that to? I'm trying to
How about the
remember.
guy standing up to start the game, Jeff?
Oh, yeah, that
This is
idiot.
why I like the big
Yeah.
man. Here's why I like the big man on campus. If you've never been around Jeff, Jeff's passionate, as you see now. Jeff can be surly, as you see at times. Jeff can be really fun, as you see at times. It's all melded into that one package. So we get to the game, and when I say when the worlds collide, this is pretty funny because we're sitting in a section yesterday where when you get like comp tickets or, coaches tickets or, prospects go there. So we're sitting where there would be regular Temple fans. There would be tickets that were given to like me and Jeff. And then there would be like city kids, and you never know where they got the tickets from that were sitting behind us. So the tradition at Temple is the fans stand until the first score at the games. And I know the tradition, but not everybody partakes. Honestly, not everybody knows about it. So the guy in front of us stands up so you can't see. But it's
Okay,
usually
Donnie,
okay,
let me
Jeff,
let me
because
make this
hold
point.
on, hold
Let
on,
me
hold on,
make
hold
the
on. Let
point.
me set the scene. No, let me set the scene first. So you usually get like what, one or two possessions, and you get to sit down. Well, Temple goes scoreless, and the guy stands right through the TV timeout for like 20 minutes.
Okay, first of all, here I want to break this down on this idiot. Okay, first of all, he turns around. Okay, now we have kids behind us. It was the mascot's birthday. Okay, so there were a lot of kids there and stuff. And listen, frankly, if I'm gonna watch the game, I don't want to see this fucking guy's back of his head all day. Okay, so now keep in mind, he was the only one standing in the
In our
fucking arena.
section, yes, you're
Right.
correct. Yes,
It's
that's
like, and for anyone that doesn't know, it is something that they do, but this is not Duke. It's not fucking Kansas. We don't have 80,000 people in doing it. He's the only idiot doing it. Now there's a kid behind us, and the guy behind us was like, "Dude, sit the hell down." I said to the guy, "Dude, do you really need to stand for this? Even your kid sat down because he goes, "What's a tradition? Maybe you would know that if you went to Temple." I said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa." I said, "First of all, you don't know what I do. I've been to every game. Second of all, I don't know if you noticed, but no one else is doing this. It's only you." And he literally stood there the whole time.
Yeah.
And look, the whole mascot thing, I don't give a shit, but the little kids like it. And if they sit in the seats, that's all I care about. Whatever. It's just a point. You don't do it. We're sitting there. We got to fucking move around, try to see the game. Sit the hell down. Stop acting like an asshole. And he only did it to be
Yeah.
an asshole. And he literally stood up for 6 minutes. So they
Jeff,
didn't
he
score for
he
six
he
minutes.
mushed the game. Like he literally mushed the game from tip. That was the mush right
Yes.
there. That's it. What were
That's
they
what
down?
I'm saying.
15-2, 15 nothing?
No, and my favorite guy was the guy 2 rows behind us. When I yelled out about Dunphy being a bum and they should fire him, and he got
Yeah,
real pissed off. Did you see that?
he did.
And
Yeah.
because I mentioned a player should start, and he didn't think he should, and that Dunphy's actually a good coach. And the guy goes, "He didn't start the other night. They almost beat Wichita." I said, "Hey, dude," I said, "Here's the thing, though. They didn't win." I said, I don't know if you
Yo, did
remember,
you
but
notice
they
he moved that? He actually moved down, Jeff, and sat behind us in the third, hoping there was just going
yeah.
to be like a comeback. I'm like, hey, man, we'll see what
And then
happens. That dude bounced quick when they're down 30.
he comes down. Okay, now he comes down. The people behind us left, so he comes down. He goes. He almost wanted to try to like get into my head, like, "Oh, let's keep talking about how you didn't think that Temple come back."
Yeah.
And so he goes, "When they come back, I'm walking you out of here." I said, "Okay, cuz." I said, "We'll see what happens." I said, "I know they're not going to come back, but all right." Um, Listen, 10-minute mark of the game, he leaves. He doesn't
They're
even,
down 30. Yeah. It went
yeah.
from
See you
20 to
later.
30. It's like, yeah, I'm out of here. Let's go watch the I think he said he was going to watch the Cincinnati Wichita game, which was funny, which
Yeah,
everybody was bailing out at their point. And even again, the kids behind us were even half the story because the kids will tell you the truth when you're between like 10 to 13 years old. And the
yeah.
commentary from behind us, from the kids, was worth the price of admission, just crushing Temple each and time they went up, telling their dad or their parent right there that they wanted to leave because this is just nonsense and they can watch some other game. Oh man, it was priceless, and it's a shame
I'll
because
tell you though,
me
the
and Jeff
kids.
look forward to this stuff, and it's a good game, and you don't even get to enjoy it.
I'll tell you though, the kids were pretty smart for like basketball. I mean, they were young. They were like 5. One of the kids, he knew a lot about basketball.
Yeah,
But
it's pretty funny, man.
so Dottie, we have an update on what SWOT is or whatever SWAT.
Oh, go ahead.
Um,
Yes.
it's some kind of market analysis thing, which I'm not sure how marketing has
Or
anything
for
to
a
do with.
game? Is it for a game? Like, what are we what's the analysis for?
Uh, it's it's a finance tool that elite analysts use. You use it as mentally as you analyzing the game to see if there are any risk associated when cap. Come on, man. Me with
Yeah,
this.
yeah, like, good, good,
Cap the
good.
game.
I'm actually glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up because Jeff and I, like Jeff's younger than me, but Jeff has the same mind as me, being a quote unquote like old school thinking guy. Do you have to move on with the times? Yes, you do. But here's the thing I don't understand, which I do get a chuckle out of Twitter. I get a chuckle when I see this, Jeff. Do you ever get anybody on Twitter? And the guys out there will mention this as well. I have this is like plus EV 3.5% on this game. What are you talking about? Like, what are we talking about here? Where, like, I think the odds makers made a mistake because my EV gives me a plus 2% advantage in this game on the numbers. Can't we just take a look at the game itself, Jeff, and say, you know what? I don't think this team matches up well with this team, or it's going on the road. Why do we need analytics? Like, what's the point? Like, I guess they don't even watch the game, like, whatsoever. Like, the one thing I also get a laugh out of with Ken Palm as well is I've DM'd them in the past just to ask a simple question. Like, with your analysis and what you look at, like, you say, all right, this team's going to win a game by 5 points. And I remember DMing him a couple years ago saying, does it matter that the other team's best 2 players are out for this game on suspension? And he DM'd me said no. Like, Jeff, analytics don't even look into who's playing the basketball game. Who gives?
Yeah, it's stupid. I mean, listen.
If I told
Again,
you
we'll go back
Jalen
to the whole.
Brunson, if I told you Jalen Brunson was out for Villanova and the line was -10 and they announced he's suspended, according to Ken Palm, it should stay at 10 because he doesn't matter in the basketball game. I don't understand that theory at all.
Yeah. No, listen. Again, go back to the whole. How you cap is how you cap. But I have seen some very new like capping strategies. And look, do your thing. I don't. To all your whole thing. But I'm not sure that for me, there are very few instances where emotion means anything. As far as strengths and weaknesses, college basketball is strengths and weaknesses. But listen, I hope you win. I mean, I just wanted to know what it was. I never heard of it before. But let's hit the hardwood here, Donnie, and talk about some of the
Yeah.
games tonight. We got about 10 or so minutes here. Where are we going tonight?
Yeah, let's whip through it, Jeff. Nice road victory over the weekend, Jeff. We didn't talk about because there was 190 games on Saturday that probably had your attention much better. But Notre Dame picked up a nice win at Boston College, showing that fluid offense, being able to score easily. A nice wire-to-wire winner. They're going to get the Miami Hurricanes, Jeff, in this one, coming off a not-so-nice game versus the Syracuse Orange. About 1,600 tickets have been tracked. Almost 60% of those tickets, Jeff, leaning towards the Fighting Irish at home. Line opened up at 4. It actually has moved up to 4.5. Some outlets out there, Jeff, like Bet Online, showing -4.5, -115. So might be thinking that line moves up to 5. Haven't liked what we've seen from Miami, especially lately here, Jeff, now going on the road. I mean, not an unbelievable home court advantage for Notre Dame, but certainly an advantage there. Do you trust Miami going on the road here, Jeff?
No, not really. I don't really trust Miami until Brown comes back, really. I mean, when he comes back, then I'm interested. But until then, I'm not. Notre Dame obviously needs these games. I mean, they're trying to make the last few games relevant. Maybe you get Bonzi Colson back and you go on a bit of a run. But these are games where if you can win, I mean, they're important. Miami, I'm not interested right now because of the one thing. Brown's not in there. Jaquan Newton has been MIA all season. Jelani Walker is a good player, but he's a freshman and he can only do so much. DJ Harvey's back for Notre Dame. Farrell's back. They're only really missing one player, and even without those, that Colson, at this point, they're still a decent basketball team. If I have to play this, I would lean Notre Dame. I think they just need this game more. Miami's in the tournament. They're not really improving their standing or anything. I think Notre Dame. This is one of the situations where they have to have it. I think right now they're just a better team overall. I don't want to see Miami. You looked at the last couple games; they've really struggled without any guards. I mean, they just haven't gotten good guard play. They faced really good defenses, and they haven't been able to really break any of those down. You're facing another good defense here in Notre Dame on the road. Last 2 games for Miami, Donnie, 50 points and 55 points against 2 real good defenses. You get another one here until they get a guard back that I can work with. I.e. Brown. I'm not interested in Miami.
All right, we'll keep it moving down the list, Jeff. 705, 706, Northwestern with an unbelievable game versus Michigan State. Jeff, how are they going to bounce back from that one? Taking a look at this game now, showing up against Maryland, who Maryland, to me, obviously the more talented team, showing a pick 'em across the board, 54% backing the Terrapins on the road here. How does Northwestern respond from that Michigan State game, Jeff? Are we a little bit down in the dumps in this one? Or are we going to be back for blood coming here at home?
Real quick, Dottie, I wanted to make a comment here. It's not my fault. I happen to educate and talk capping to a whole new level. My most important lesson came from the Italians. Trust me, I'm a
Oh,
winner. Um, all right. Well, listen, Omar, we're not coming at you. I just wondered what your system was. The other chatters are coming at you. Um,
wait,
again, you
what are
seem
we
like
talking
you're.
about Italians? That mean we
Yeah, I don't
fixed
know
the
what.
game? Ooh.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure what that has to do with anything. First, so second of all, I think people when you come in and try to actually give some potion that you can pick games better than other people, you like know something. I don't think you should have to ascertain that you're a winner. So normally it just happens. You become a winner, and people say, "Wow, this guy's pretty good." I don't know what is Italians. What do they have to do with anything? I mean,
Maybe
I'm
soccer,
not.
Jeff. Maybe we're talking about
Yeah,
Juventus.
I'm not sure what he means there. Everyone's taking my comments out of proportion. There's a quantitative part to capping, and a
Of course there is. Of course there
qualitative
is.
part to it. Yeah, again, Omar, I've never used any of that crap, and I do really well. So again, I'm just trying to save you some time, pal. But no, it's interesting. People just, I guess, are not liking some of the things, but teaching you the rules of the game of sportsbook. Okay, so Italians taught you that stuff. Interesting.
Jeff, Italians get hey,
Normally,
you've seen Italians in
normally
South Philly,
Italians are
Jeff.
the
Come on.
whole Normally Italians are the opposite. They're trying to teach you how to beat the books and get over on people. But
Jeff,
the ones
you
that I
had one certain Italian guy gave you one bit of betting advice in the NFL that you should adhere to over the past 20 years. What was it?
uh Bet New England.
There you go.
And
Straight
believe
from
me,
the Italian.
the guy that told me, I mean,
Was way
he
back.
knows.
This wasn't this year. This was
Yeah,
way
no,
back in the day. Yep. Yeah.
this was like way long ago. And the guy that told me, he definitely knows. Do whatever works. Alan Boston handicaps with a pen and paper. Amen. Hey, look at this. Look, good old fashioned pen and paper, boys. I got these fucking notebooks everywhere. Full of information. Don't block him for what? He didn't do anything wrong. If anyone, don't block him. He is a commenter, and I'm going to stick up for him. Do not block him. He has his own way of doing things. Let him go. Don't block him. If any,
Jeff,
and no
we've been
one can
told. I mean,
block him.
yeah, we've been told all throughout the years. I mean, if anybody watches any shows I'm on, I've been told repeatedly that if your best player is not playing in the NFL, it doesn't matter to handicappers. I've been told repeatedly that, Jeff.
Yeah, I definitely think it's important. Donnie, let's go to the other two games. What do we got?
Let's go here. Yeah, I was just prepping that up for you, Jeff. The Northwestern Maryland game. How does Northwestern
Oh,
bounce
sure.
back in that environment? Pick'em game here on the road at Northwestern. Typically, and again, if it has nothing to do with emotion. You're trying to pick and seed between like 18 to 20-year-old kids how they're going to bounce back and respond from having something epic about to happen and taken away. How does Northwestern bounce back? Sometimes, Jeff, to me, it's good to get right back on the court, right back on your home court, and try to right a wrong there. But how do you see this Northwestern game playing out?
Yeah, but I mean, it's been the same story with Northwestern all season, Donnie. It's why they're 15 and 13. They let things get away. It's drawn from them almost. They've been good defensively, but so is Maryland. Listen, I like Maryland better offensively. I'm not interested in Northwestern. I don't think they're very good. They can't shoot. Yeah, they don't really do anything good offensively, and they're only shooting 40% in conference. Maryland's a better team. They're not a good road team, which is a concern. They have to win this game, which they haven't done a great job of. This is a pass for me because you have a Maryland team that's 3-9 straight up on the road against a team in Northwestern that just can't seem to get anything to go their way on offense. Maybe an under, but it is fairly low. This is a straight pass for me, Donnie.
Yeah, check out some injury information as we go down because I know we're waiting on that. But they played well, and they should have won that game easily on Saturday. But we'll see how they bounce back, Jeff. We'll take a little lower run game here, Jeff. 7-11, 7-12, 8 o'clock tip. That's Detroit Mercy on the road versus UIC. And I have to preface by saying I got a little bit of bias coming into this game, Jeff, because last week I did take a loss. I believe it was Friday night. Detroit Mercy, who can't play on the road, who stinks on the road, goes up and beats my Penguins at home, forcing me to dip into my pocket and pay out some money that I'd taken a loss here. Detroit's going to bounce back here on the road, feeling good, Jeff, and taking again some games on the road. 71% backing UIC, -10 across the board, over under 158. Can Detroit Mercy compete in this game, Jeff?
No, I don't think they can. Uh, it's always a challenge figuring out who's exactly playing for Detroit Mercy. They're kind of like you're like an intramural team that you don't know who's going to show up or not. Like if the team's going to have enough, bodies. I mean, Detroit Mercy's had all these weird like personnel issues all season. Their coach was even out at one point. And Illinois Chicago is not a team at home that I'd really want to step in front of. This team has been great all year against the spread, 12-3 in conference, and really the key has been Tarkus Ferguson. I've mentioned that name before. And what I love about UIC is they normally take care of business against bad teams. They're 10-2 this year against teams with losing records. Here's the question, though. This is a big number. This is not 2 or 3 where they've been kind of lined all season. This is 9, 10 points. You got to win by double digits. And it's a team like Detroit Mercy that can hang in games because they're good enough offensively. They are a decent team for the foul line as well. I kind of like the over in this game. I think if Detroit Mercy can get, they should be able to get to 70. I think this game will get over because Illinois Chicago goes fast enough where they'll have enough possessions to put up 90, 85 in this game. I kind of like the over, but it's hard for me to lay it with Illinois Chicago just because they're not normally a team that is used to covering double digit. They're normally 3, 4, 2.5, something like that. It's a lot of money.
No, you're right there. And Wrap it up there for the college basketball portion, Jeff. We have probably about 30 seconds to go. If we slide it down, just some real quick thoughts here, Jeff, off topic. Black Panther movie, huge opening. Jeff, did you see it or will you see it?
No and no. And it's not because I don't want to. I'm just not into that kind of stuff. I'm not into
Me
like
neither. Yeah.
superhero stuff. So no, I can't say I will, but I'm happy to see it's doing well. It's nice to see a big time movie get it shine, and I know they do a great job. Michael B. Jordan, those guys did a great job in Black Panther. So good for them. Other than that, guys, we are on the road and heading out of here. What we'll do, Donnie, we got a couple topics we missed on. We'll get to them tomorrow here. We'll make a note of those, and we'll hit those tomorrow. Obviously, we're back Tuesday with the right side of campus. Join us every day at 10 o'clock. Donnie and I will be back. Donnie, other than that, have a great day, man. Appreciate it. Thanks to
Mhm.
the guys down at SPF for producing. We'll be back Tuesday with another show. Everyone have a great night. Bye bye.